beautiful Hinton Ampner House. We are Henry Tillier's Regiment of the Sealed Knot, and we're here to give you a brief introduction to life in a regiment of our own in the English Civil War. As you can see, we've got some musketeers here. We will also demonstrate the pike later. I will hand you over to Musketeer. We'll talk you through what a musketeer does.
That's it, Craig. Hi everybody. So in front of you see a division of musketeers. 1644 foot regiment would have comprised approximately 3 or 4 musketeers to 1 pikeman. Pikemen will show you their offensive capacity, and most of the offensive activity must be carried out by these musketeers. Carrying a 2-bore musket, which is deadly accurate, cumbersome, heavy, and completely unreliable. So we're very much in the infancy of gunpowder. Okay, so we're going to show you now how cumbersome it is to load and fire these things, and then we're going to have a little competition to see which of my musketeers is the fastest. So, musketeers have a can. You will load and fire by order. Open your pan. Clean your pan. Draw forth from your primer and prime your pan. So right now they're putting a fine priming powder in the pan which they will use to ignite the main charge. First thing they're doing. You heard the phrase "a flash in the pan"? That comes from this period when musketeers accidentally set that off with their match. Because in their other hand, they have a piece of slow match, which is what they'll be using to ignite musket short, hence the name match. And part of the trick of being a good musketeer is you keep this away from the gunpowder until you're ready to fire. Cast about your musket. So they're now going to add the main charge. Draw forth your main charge. Charge your musket. This is the main charge of gunpowder going down the barrel. Draw forth your wadding. Insert your wadding. So they're putting wadding down the barrel to create the percussion to actually fire the musket. Draw forth your scouring stick. Reverse, shorten your scouring stick. Ram home with 3 goodly thrusts. Withdraw your scouring stick. Reverse and return your scouring stick. Port your muskets. So they're now charged. You will notice the one thing that we have not included is 2-ounce musket ball, which would have gone down. Soft lead. So if it impacted on, it would actually flat as it destroyed the boat. But we've all got to go to work on Monday, so we don't tend to use musket balls. So they're now loaded. The order will be mount your match. The match is being put into what we call the servo, which is the mechanism used to fire the musket. Test your match. Your left hand about face. Present. Check your scouring stick. Prepare to fire. Give fire. Port your musket. Dismount your match. Your left hand about face. So as you can see, that was a quite prolonged process, and soldiers throughout history would always try and short circuit that. So we're now going to see how quickly they can load and fire in their own time. So they're only going to get one order. Musketeers, you must ram, and you must mount your match. No cheating allowed. when you fire. Great, reform the block and the rope facing the crowd, please. Musketeers, reform on the sergeant. Far back as you can go, have a care, reform the block, make ready.
As you can tell, this takes a long time to reload. So if you run out of gunpowder, there's not a lot you can do but turn the gun around and turn it into a club. So the heavy end is metal clad. It's not very nice to get hit with. It's very heavy, and there is evidence of phasing house when they dug it out. There was a lot of skulls broken with that kind of shape in the skull. Did get used a lot. They're just loading now, and then they're going to charge at hand to hand. Just want to see what it might have felt like to have this charge. They won't hit you, don't worry. It's perfectly fine where you are. They're going to shoot you.
Announce your match. I want to make sure we run 20 minutes.
Open your mouth. Open your mouth.
Prepare to fire. Fire! Clear right to cover. Second right to cover.
Wow, brilliant.
Take the match. Are you ready? March on!
There's quite a disparity in clothing between the foot soldiers and, for example, myself. Because I'm an officer, I'm supposedly a gentleman, and I have the wealth and means to equip myself. I will have paid for the soldiers' coats, but everything else that they wear, other than their weaponry, is their own. They were literally taken from the fields. They have no prior soldiering knowledge at all. It was pretty brutal. Owen is our ensign. He's carrying the honour of the regiment, what we call the colour. In Henry Tillier's regiment, it's a plain green flag. This is a reform point. It shows the recruits. We just look for that. We're scattered. We see that. We know where to go. It's also a means of taunting the enemy. Kind of come and have a go if you think you're hard enough type thing. And actually, it's a little like this. And I can tell you from experience that's very hard work.
Yes.
Mr. Warren, are you ready?
It's over there. Ready.
Just over there. A few technical hitches.
Have a care. Advance your pike.
Mr. Warren will take you through the pike block.
March on. Stand. Okay. front rank to your left hand face. March on. Space yourselves out, lads.
Keep going, John.
Rear rank, your right hand face.
Will do, John, I think.
Stay here. Stand, your left hand face. Beautiful. Okay, so Tilliers are a regiment of foot soldiers. So there are 2 arms out of the 4 in the Civil War army. You've already seen the musket, the ranged foot soldiers. What we don't have here is the artillery. Those pieces are really just big muskets, same design, same tube, just much bigger. The cavalry, which we obviously don't have represented here today, but featured very heavily in Civil War battles. And the weapon you can see with the chaps here today is called a pike, 14 feet of ash, and is primarily an anti-cavalry weapon. Order your pikes. Advance your pikes. Charge for horse. Okay, so what you're seeing here now is the chaps are taking their pikes, they're stabbing it into the ground to give it a really solid base in the ground and putting their right foot on the back of that pike. They take a big step forward and then they're bracing that pike on the inside of their leg. You want a really solid, stable base aimed at kind of a horse's chest height. Now we're quite spaced out. If you can imagine, in an actual battle there could be 200 to 400 pikemen all very close together, and they end up with a wall of pikes, you know, multiple ranks back and much closer together. So a wall of pikes is very hard to penetrate. One of the formations that they formed is a formed circle, so they have pikes facing in all directions, and then other infantrymen, musketeers, officers would go into the centre of that formation and be protected against the horse and the cavalry that were coming in to attack them. Advance your pikes. Okay, so while primarily an anti-cavalry weapon, there obviously came points of the engagement where you'd have to fight other foot soldiers, be that musketeers, armed with their muskets and swords, or other pike blocks. So when they went in to attack the other pike blocks, they would level the pike at horizontal and engage with the enemy. So, port your pikes. Charge your pikes! Ah! Terrifying. For children. Advance your pikes. I don't think it was quite terrifying enough though. Let's try it again with feeling. Charge your pikes! Ah! Much better. March on! Stand! Firing in order. Stand! Advance your pikes! Okay, so Civil War battlefields were very loud and chaotic places. So when the unit was broken up in combat, we'd have to reform again. They tended to reform on the colour, the chap that you've already seen displaying it, and tended to reform to a drum beat, as well as being very noisy places. They're very smoky places. You've kind of got an idea of the musket smoke with I don't know, maybe 15 muskets going off. If you can imagine 2,000 muskets going off and firing shot after shot after shot, battlefields were very smoky, very chaotic, very loud places. So we'd have a drummer would be assigned to the colour, and that would be the reform point. Right, reform! Reform! Come on! Move! March on! Port your pikes! Charge your pikes! Stand! Retiring in order. Stand, advance your pikes!